So let it be done.
If you can hear me, this is a show that's going to be personal yet impactful. Welcome to the Heritage Hip Hop Mike Council Show, where today's topic is the fallacy of Christian hip hop. Fallacy is a false idea that is believed in and taken into account as a meaning of argument. Before I get into this, let me say whether your preference of Christian faith is not relevant in this conversation really doesn't matter. It's a point of conversation. And I'm not knocking anybody's faith when I do this show. Instead, I want to bring thought to the conversation and not to tear down anyone. First and foremost, thank you for watching this show. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this. Hit the like button. Subscribe to heritagehiphop.com. Or let's get to work. I'm a fan of all hip hop. And hip hop has a very serious message to me. I really believe in hip hop. I believe in people coming from nothing and making something, and how it has changed the world and given us something fantastic. It's taught people a new way to dress, a new way to talk. It's given people a new way to show the world our existence is key because we know how to represent God, ourselves, and what we believe in. Now, in hip hop today, we are in a different situation than we were in the past. I'm from the East Coast, so faith has always been a part of hip hop, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. When the Zulu Nation came in and they said, no matter what faith you are, we believe in peace, unity, love, and having fun, right? Then when the 5% came into hip hop, a lot of peace God talk was going on, and we had Lakim Shabazz, YZ, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Brand Nubian, and of course, the most famous 5%ers in the world is Wu-Tang Clan, right? To mention a few, Planet Asia, I believe is there. You have a lot of them, right? J Electronica, you know, we have a lot of that. Islam got a lot of respect when it came to hip hop because you have a lot of Muslims in hip hop. Ice Cube is one, I think the most popular one in mainstream, maybe to traditional Islam. You had the Nation of Islam with like West Coast Cam, he's one of them. You have Farrakhan, who gets a lot of respect, and you have like Freeway, Benny Siegel, the Philly faction of hip hop. A lot of them are Muslim. Salute to all my Muslim brothers out there too. But Christianity has also been a part of hip hop from the beginning. I remember Chubb Rock used to talk about God somewhat. I think Heavy D talked about God a little something. And in this country, we've given a lot of false realities when it comes to religion. Like the Bible's the white man's book and stuff like that. And people don't understand the Bible and all that. We've even had people in the mainstream media talk about God and Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Thank you for letting me win this album about killing folks. And it's been like really a hot topic. And it's really funny because in hip hop, you can be Muslim, you could be 5%, you could be all this stuff. But as soon as someone says something about Jesus and hip hop, it's like the worst word you can ever say. And I'm fighting back against that, but I'm also talking about how Christian hip hop is full of crap. And let me say this the right way. Now, the message of on Christian hip hop is excellent. It's excellent because when you talk about holding people accountable, sin, things that are against your faith, and standing strong for it, that's key and that's very important. There are credible Christian artists that I've talked to and I've met that make me respect the genre as a whole. Fire Jaws, Donna Miles. I've heard music from Lavoisier. I respect Bizzle, Dayton. You know, there's people out there, Show Baraka, Stephen the Levite. There's people I've heard who've made good music and they stand by their message, and that's important because if you can't flow what you believe in, then who's really going to believe you? But here's the thing that bothers me, and this has always bothered me about church, especially growing up through many churches. I've been through Christian, Catholic, Seventh day Adventist, Hebrew Israelite, Baptist, all this stuff. And the one thing I figured out is as much as we celebrate or and as much as gang culture is hated, religion is nothing but a gang culture to me. And that's my opinion. I could be wrong to you, but this is what I've experienced. And when it comes to hip hop, I see the same thing. Cause let's just cut to the chase. There was a topic that came out recently about D1. Shout out to D1 though, because he really believes what he believes, and he's been going hard for years. And D1 called out Rick Ross, Meek Mill, and Jim Jones. And he's talking about holding people accountable for their lyrics, which I agree. There's going to be a time when your lyrics will you be measured by your lyrics, but also you'll be measured by your growth. And I heard some things in the conversation he said and the responses he got as well, and it made me think. Cause I could be wrong. Y'all could teach me if I'm wrong. Because he pulled out Proverbs and said, life and death happens, with the tongue, right? Paraphrasing, right? The power of life and death lies within the tongue. And we know that you can speak your way into trouble and you can speak your way out of trouble. And that's real. But are people using God as an excuse to say and do things the wrong way to make people listen to them in some type of way? Because if that's what you're doing, then are you really using the Bible the correct way? And that's my question. And that's what I really want to talk about. That's why I say the Christian hip hop has a fallacy because we have people who go out and teach and want to teach and be examples. And there's nothing wrong with that. But see, the one thing about hip hop that people take for granted is the level of respect you have to have for people who come from people who have been disrespected, and you're not using one of the most simple Bible lessons, which is in the New Testament in First Corinthians, which is about meeting people where they are. And if we're going to meet people where they are, is it right to call out artists in the mainstream social media when you can have those talks behind closed doors and meet man to man? I mean, let's keep it real. I'm not the biggest fan of anybody right now, but I do know some of the music. Now I know Rick Ross and Meek Mill have an album coming out. I know Jim Jones is doing things, and D1 calling them out was really suspect to me because they have things out right now currently, and this is going to boost their thing. So salute to him for great marketing for them. But when it comes to Rick Ross, right? Rick Ross, his message has mostly been about money and ownership. He has some street stuff in there, but it's mostly been about money and ownership. Meek is a little weird to me because I don't know all his music, so I'm not going to say what is and what isn't. But he did make a point about him talking about prison reform and then going into the murder, death, kill talk, which is very interesting. Then you have Jim Jones, and I respect Jim Jones highly. Salute to the show. If y'all haven't seen Jim Jones, the Heritage Hip Hop, look up our 25 Hours a Piece show. He did his thing on that stage. But I have seen Jim Jones in the community. And shout out to his mom and her restaurant. Like, there's people out there that are doing great things for themselves and their families, and he's one of them, right? But as a man, would you ever want to be called out in front of everybody when you can have a conversation one to one where, as a man, you can converse, agree or agree to disagree, and walk away with respect? See, when you call somebody out in hip hop, is that really following Christian belief? Because here's the one thing that bothers me. People will pull the scriptures to make a point, and they'll pull that shit wrong. And they'll do it in a way where they want to be right instead of being taught or being teachable in the moment. For instance, people could come back at me and say in the New Testament, Paul also talks about calling people out in front of the congregation so they could be, left to their sin and they could go through whatever they got to go through to heal, cleanse, or be lost into it. But it says part of the congregation, which means y'all are a like body of people. Hip hop is so diverse that a lot of us are not like minded people. A lot of us have different faiths and we operate in different ways. And the respect is the one thing that keeps us glued to each other. That's why when somebody does a diss track or something, it's so crazy because it's disrespectful. A lot of you people who are fake ass Tupac fans, I call y'all fake because if y'all really were real, y'all would have loved Pac from the beginning. But a lot of people love him because of his ignorance and not because of the mind state that he had. But y'all like Pac because of how he dissed Biggie and made hit him up. That disrespect is so big and prevalent that we don't really focus on the man. Same thing with diss records. People get so caught up into calling somebody out and say his name, who did it, and blah, 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 that the message really gets lost. And that's the problem I have with what's going on. And then somebody told me D1 is a Christian hip hop artist. I don't know if he really is. I don't follow his music like that. But what I will say is this: if he's the representation of Christian hip hop, calling out secular mainstream hip hoppers, then the whole message of Christianity has been lost and you're using hip hop to do it. I have a beef with that, me personally. And it's not to him, it's just to the act of what was being done because in Christianity, right, you're taught to love each other, love one another, represent God within yourself as you follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, whatever way you want to call him. Some of my people call him Yahweh. Some people call him Yeshua, Yehoshua, whatever. Whatever you choose, that's what I want you to call him as, right? And people call him by those names. And it seems like blindly following what people say Christ is and then doing what D1 did is very suspect because the true evil is not in who gave the message, it's the person who's sponsoring and paying for the message. How do you call out artists that have bosses and people who write their checks? I don't care if you try to say Rick Ross is independent or Meek Mill's independent, or Jim Jones independent. Their companies are not ran by them. And if they are the head of their labels, they're still backed by distribution and somebody else. So how do you call out the artists and not call out the people who make the money off of the people who are being killed because of what you say the lyrics do? And I'm not saying that the lyrics can inspire or whatever. I'm saying this is done in very wrong. And if you're gonna call out the evil, why would you call out someone right there publicly and not call out the people who are standing behind them, paying them to do the things that they're doing? That's some bullshit. And it's very wrong. Now, if you want to use the scripture, you could say that we all fight against not flesh and blood, but spirits and principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places, principalities and things that are above us, right? And what's above the artist is the A&R, is the owner, the CEO, the CFO of these companies. And instead, he's not calling them out. He's calling out people who are given to the folks. And this is the way that they feed their families and do whatever. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse to do anything. But what I'm saying is the logic behind it is wrong. Yes, we could use that false premise of I love you, my brother, I love you, to say anything about anything, right? You're doing this wrong, blah, 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 blah. And I love you and I'll call you out. Real love is meeting a person face to face and then having a conversation. Real love is having a conversation where not only can you give somebody rebuttal, excuse me, but you can meet them at their level, like the Corinthians says. I don't go to my child as a parent. As a if you know, whatever. I don't go to my child as a person, a parent, and call them out in front of everybody. The first thing you do, you talk to that person and an individual. Whether you get in their face or you pull them to the side, cut that out. I'm gonna beat your ass. You know, people say that, right? Come on, you know how we grew up. But you never call them out in front of everybody. Because when you do that, not only are you disrespecting your child, but you're making yourself look very irrational. And Christian hip hop has done a lot of irrational things when it comes to the faith, let alone the music. Because I'm going to let y'all know straight up. I think Christian hip hop has good messaging, but the beats are trash. And that's why people don't rock with it as much as they would like to be rocked with. Here's another thing that's wrong with Christian hip hop. Not only is the beats trash, they have no industry. It's like the worst put together thing. So in hip hop itself, because there's no guidance. It's like the closest thing I ever seen to Christian hip hop really going and doing something was cross movement and God over money. Right? Salute to them too, by the way. But within their movements, where's the backing? Where's the marketing? Is their presence when it comes to the game? You know why there isn't? Not only is it maybe that people don't like Christ as they say they do in this society, maybe, but what it is that their setup is trash. And to use other people's names to get heard or to bring substance or substantial eyes to you, that's garbage. And I don't respect that at all. There's a hip hop artist who's a Christian hip hop artist named Lecrae. And people like Lecrae. I personally don't, but people like Lecrae. And Lecrae's big break is when he was on the BET Awards and he was in the Cypher. Lecrae can rap. He has one song I really like called "This Is America," which is amazing. Great song. Great song, right? But I used the D1 situation to go back to a situation with Lecrae. Lecrae was on a show and he was getting interviewed with a Caucasian individual who's a pastor, I believe. And Lecrae was talking, he was dropping his knowledge with the guy, and it was a pretty good interview, right? But then they start talking about slavery. And then when the Caucasian man says something about we can't negate the blessings of slavery, and I saw Lecrae doing this, like, in the interview. And as a man of color, right? As a man of color, you have a person sitting next to you talking about things that happened to your people that have destroyed countless of lives, broken up families, killed children and legacies and all types of stuff. Talking about the blessings that hideous, disgusting act in history has brought, and you bob your head up and down. Where if we're going to rebuke people, and you want to rebuke people in public and not in private, I wonder about this thing. Because Lecrae's rebuttal was the man said what he said, but he didn't check him right then and there, especially when he was disrespected. He didn't check him right then and right there. He talked to him behind the scenes, and we didn't see that, but we got to take his word that he did it. Yet the other side of this is D1 calling people out who's not in front of him, using the media for some type of gain and using the Christianity thing as the flag behind it. And I have a problem with that because is that really faith or is that promotion? Because that's bullshit. And I think something's really wrong with that. I think when it comes down to is little instances like this is why people have a problem with us policing us. A lot of people have a problem with us using faith as a means to do shit like this, and it's horrible because are we really using our godlyhood, our God body, our sense of God and knowledge of self? Are we really using that to do right by the community, or is this all self gain? Because one person did not check somebody who needed to be. One person did not check somebody who needed to be checked for some reason in front of everybody. Then another person calls somebody out publicly to what gain? If y'all remember what Bizzle got big for, Bizzle got he got noticed because he called out Jay-Z. He had freestyles and stuff going at Jay-Z because people said Jay-Z worshiped the devil and everything. Whether he does or doesn't, I don't know. That's his issue. That's your personal walk would determine your thing. All you gotta do is keep watch, I would say, right? And Jay-Z even did interviews with Angie Martinez where he actually addressed that. Like, I believe in God and da 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 da. Now, what God he believes in is his choice. Like I said, you are responsible for your walk, not his. But Bizzle used hip hop to call this man out. And that's what got Bizzle his notoriety. The thing behind it was Bizzle actually came out with good songs. And whether the industry wanted to mess with him or not, he found his niche and then he made his movement. Right? I respect that because he used the game for the game. Even MC Hammer went Christian rapper and he called out Jay-Z in the song. Call it what you want. I think what it comes down to and what I'm talking about is, are we using faith the right way when it comes to this hip hop culture? Because yes, I believe hip hop doesn't have the balance that it deserves. I want to give a shout out to the 5%ers because when 5% music was out there was more balance. So when I give a shout out to X Clan and the Afrocentric musics, because when we had that out there, real conscious music, when we had it out there, it brought balance to the game. So you can have the violence, but you can have the message. You had this and you had that. So you can make a choice. And it's not balanced now because we have a lot of over sexualization and drug messages. True indeed. True indeed. But the way D1 went about doing an accountability check was not cool. And that was not right. Because at the end of the day, whether you say a person's name or not, there's a way to go about it. And the lack of respect, especially in the game where respect is the main thing hip hop is built upon, that is pure garbage. And I don't respect that. I really don't. I really don't. I will say this: there are people out there who are taking Christian hip hop to a respectable level. Do y'all know Nucci Rayo? Nucci Rayo was somebody who talks about God and his music, and I respect him. Like I said, fire jaws. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know Brother Haas, who was from Hardware, the Big Seven, Haas the Ripper, used to be on Rockefeller and all that. Roy Jones writer and all that. Now he's Brother Haas. Haas is one of the most lyrical, potent MCs ever. And he gave his lyrical gift to the Most High, to God. And I respect that highly. Now, what he does with their music, or what they do with their music is on them. But here's the thing. Christian hip hop suffers from trash music. And so a lot of their messages get lost because they just want you to sit down and respectfully just love what's being said. And if you can't connect to the beat or the beat has no soul, you ain't going to connect to nobody because your shit is trash. So to D1 and everybody else that does Christian hip hop who feels the same way he does, I'm telling you, the best way to get your message out in Christian hip hop, work on your music and come out with great product. That's what's going to get your message out. Hear me out. There are other genres of music that do the same thing you do. And what they have done is take the message, put it to hot music so people would dance and respect the message while they be entertained. A lot of Christian hip hop music is not entertaining. It is garbage. It is very corny. The beats are trash. But you have some artists out there that do have a good ear for music. You do. You have people like Donna Miles. Donna Miles has done songs with female artists that you probably never had heard of that believe in Christ and God, and there's no machine behind them, and that's messed up, right? You have Fire Jaws, like I said, it's my guy. Makes great music, lyrical content and everything. Great music, but where's the machine behind it? I respect Nucci because you have Spotify to stream music, right? How many of y'all have heard of Godify? Godify is a Christian hip hop streaming service that specializes only in Christian hip hop and Christian music. So I think there is Christian country and stuff like that on there. I'm not sure. Check it out yourself. They need to give me some sponsorship, Nucci. Come see me. But they need to give me some sponsorship for this. But there's other platforms out there where you can listen to Christian music, and that's cool. But where's the marketing? See, you know what's really messed up about Christian hip hop? The people who should be backing it are these churches and these people of faith, and they're not. And that's the worst part about it, because if you think about it, churches raking billions of dollars, even though I think their finances are funny because how they do things. That's just me. Churches breaking billions of dollars, and it's tax-free money. So if you can have a food pantry, if you can have clothing drives and stuff like that, you can support artists from the church or neighborhood who make good music. And as easy as it is to put music out now, y'all can help them with the marketing and the promotion, because that's only going to bring notoriety to the church and get their message out. Why isn't TG Jakes touring with somebody? Why isn't Kirk Franklin getting some of these people making compilation albums and putting them on his shows or stuff like that? And where's the marketing for people behind it? You know what I see marketing for when it comes to Christian music? Gospel Fest. That's it. Maybe you hear about the Stellar Awards. That's it. You don't really see, hear, or even witness marketing for Christian hip hop anywhere. When's the last time you went to World Star Hip Hop and saw a Christian hip hop artist? When's the last time you went on Drink Champs and saw a Christian hip hop artist or Hip Hop DX or All Hip Hop? I don't even think I have many Christian hip hop artists highlighted on Heritage Hip Hop because we don't know them. And for those who are out there that we do know, I give them the opportunity. That's how I met Donna Miles. Fire Jaws has been on. Y'all Itis I'm Yo Ex. He's been on. He's a Hebrew Israelite rapper. That's still, I believe, Christian rap because they follow Christ. But the bottom line is, you could be on Instagram and see marketing for a lot of things, but Christian hip hop really is not marketed enough. I want to give a shout out to Rapzilla also, because that's a platform where Christian hip hop is. That if you're looking for Christian hip hop, they have something there. But where is the marketing for these artists? Where is their big summer jam? Where is their invitations to little pockets of tours that they do? Where is their thing? Now, I'm not saying they don't exist, but it's not in the eye. So then when a Christian rapper does something like D1 does, it makes it look bad because you're not taking the rudiments of faith and putting it towards what you're doing. Because calling somebody out, once again, is not respectful of where that person truly is. Because think about it. What's a pillar of hip hop that people don't talk about? Fucking poverty. Because hip hop was made by the people who were impoverished. Hip hop was made for people who had shit taken away from them. No failing school system, failing economics, bad food, false teachings, ignorance. All that comes with poverty. So people who are poor will do struggle, strive, and to survive. And when they find something that gets them out of the hood, they're gonna run to it. And they're gonna do it in a way where it's gonna take care of them and their family. Now, if we ever shut down somebody we don't like, right? And we totally cast them out. Number one, that's your opinion. And we have a lot of people who can't even have different opinions in hip hop, it seems, because we got ageism and all this other stuff that is total garbage, and I'm totally against. But if we have people out here who call folks out left and right, you could possibly shut down somebody's way of living, and that's very dangerous. So you don't know whose lives are being saved, and you're putting that in jeopardy. That's number one. Number two, when things are egregious and it needs to be talked about, that's when we come together as a community to talk and really get these things done. Like a lot of people call Sexy Red and Suki Hana out. I can't front. It's disgusting to me. But there's women in hip hop culture, and shout out to Nikki D, because she's one that I saw. She is actually like, let me talk to y'all and put my arm around you, and then maybe that'll help you see what's going on, because it's a lot going on. I don't think you really getting, because today's age of female MC and music is called the prostitution era of hip hop. When a woman can be pregnant and twerking on stage, I think that's disgusting and disrespectful to herself, her child, and our genre, our culture. Right? I think it's disrespectful. But being honest with you, it is out there. And I respect Nikki D for saying, you know what? Let me bring you under my wing and let me talk to you. Maybe that'll help. Because there's nothing wrong with sex hip hop. There's nothing wrong with stripper hip hop. There's nothing wrong with that, because it's part of the culture. Remember, if you truly know what a culture is and subgenres and things, it hits everything from faith to food to art to dancing to street life, recreation, jobs, grown, young, middle age, teenage, alternative, hardcore, contemporary. It has all those things in it because it reflects different parts of your life. And hip hop has come to a place where it's grown so big that it's going to encompass everything. The problem is the lack of balance. And to bring balance into it, not only do you have to have power to get your message out, you have to have backing to get your message out. And with a lot of people out here not truly backing Christian hip hop, a Christian artist is calling somebody out. It's crazy to me, because is that really showing what the faith is? You know who could call people out? Farrakhan. Salute to the minister. You know why Farrakhan could call people out? Because he has that position, but he also has that respect that people will listen to him. And if you say anything disrespectful about the minister, the honorable minister Louis Farrakhan, I know people come see you. But one thing about him I could tell you is, being a man of faith, he's not going to send people to rough you up, I hope. But he'll call people, tell people, this man want to see you. I advise you to be there, and you're gonna go. If you're not, if you don't have that respect or that power within the community, how dare you call somebody out and then tell them that you love them? That's like a person mistreating you, smacking you in the back of the head, and then telling you that they love you. Keep your love to yourself. I don't want that harm. You're bringing harm to me. And one type of harm that we give to each other that we don't take notice of is mental harm, stress, disrespect. Those things that really could cause you to really hurt somebody, because they're hurting you by stressing you. They're hurting you inside, and you may want to hurt them outside. Jim Jones's response to D1 was very interesting. Don't put your hand up when I see you. I'm gonna wrinkle your shirt and all this stuff. You calling me out. My cousin may not understand that, and he don't like what you said. Some people took that as a threat, but some people also see that as the rules of the game. And you put yourself in the game to play. Now it's time for you to actually play the game. And I don't know. Is that really what Christianity talks about? Is that what we're supposed to do? Isn't it like blessed are the meek and stuff like that? Because that's not showing meekness. And you have to play your position to be heard. I mean, if you think about it, right? Could any man raise his voice at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? They would have to meet him and have a discourse, a conversation, right? Even when Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., sorry, had a meeting of the minds, they met. They did not fight in the media. They met. They kept in-house business in-house. And even when people asked them, well, what did y'all talk about? That was between them, and that was not for the media to know. Social media has gotten so big that now people's personal business are getting put out there, or we're putting things out there that don't need to be public. And now people are fighting. People are going through this tragic BS that we're going through in society, and we're not having conversation and discourse with each other. We're not conversing. We're just talking at each other, and that's very dangerous. One thing I'm gonna tell you, as a person who believes in God and who believes in the faith, who reads the Bible and things like that, I've never read where it said disrespect somebody so your message can be heard. I've never seen that. And like I said, back to hip hop culture is very big on respect. And if respectfully we can't talk and have a conversation, then that's the fallacy of Christian hip hop, because you're so willing to serve a God that you don't even listen to or get the message from correctly. Because this is how faith goes. So I remember it because the Bible tells you this. You learn about God and then you're on fire. Everything's God, 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 which is great. But your fire starts to turn down as your walk continues, right? And as it burns down, as it goes down, that's when your wisdom comes. And that's when you do things in more proper order, because you're not as fervent to just run out and call people out. I'm not even going to talk about Kanye in this. I want to keep it respectful. But you have so many people who just run out and do whatever because of faith. God, 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 God. They actually miss the messages that God is telling them because it's so brand new to them. And you know what it's like when you get a brand new toy, you all on it, you play with it and all this other stuff. And then as the new things come out or you get used to it, you fall back from it. I see that in hip hop culture with everything. And Christian hip hop is no different for me, because if somebody came out who was new, oh, he's the greatest thing, blah, 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 blah. I want to hear the message. But then if the message is not packaged right, then you fall back from them. A lot of these artists have great messages. The beats are whack. They don't have good marketing. They don't have good advertising. And it seems like they use the Bible to offset their lack of doing the things needed to be heard. Because they'll use scriptures like, well, those with ears, let them hear. Yeah, but we live in a visual society too. And that's why God's people was told to have physical reminders of the law and who he is, so that they will never forget him as well. So yes, the ears are what music is, but we also live in a digital age where the eyes mean something too. That, think about it. People had them dumbass quotes on Instagram and TikTok all day long about inspiration. Here are the 5 things that a man needs to attract a woman. Here's how you attract a modern man, or whatever. We have all that, right? Why is this any different? Why is it different to have your message come out in a way where it's digestible, acceptable, and respectful for people to understand and to receive? The fallacy of Christian hip hop is not only the fact that the beats are trash and the delivery is trash, it's the fact that we're not having great conversation with these artists. So, I, Karev, a heritage hip hop, am inviting all, I said this before, and people didn't show up. So, to Rapzilla, to Lecrae, to Bizzle, Dayton, all of y'all, I invite you to Heritage Hip Hop because I respect you and I respect your message. And in faith, I offer my platform as a way for you to meet the people and get your message out. Show your face. I give you that respect. I give you that because I want to take this fallacy and dead it so people can respect who we are, respect you, and respect our culture. Because first and foremost, it is about the music because you make music. Second, it is about the message because the message is in the music. And third, it is about the love of the people because hip hop was about peace, love, unity, and having fun. So how do we unite if we're ostracizing and calling people out when that's not the Christian way to do things? Let's step up and do things better. What do you think? Do y'all agree with me? Am I right on this point when it comes to Christian hip hop, or am I wrong? Because if I'm wrong, I'll offer you to have a conversation with me and teach me where I'm wrong. But if I'm right, then how do we help get these artists the right beats, the right messaging, the right marketing, the right everything, so that they are seen, heard, known, and respected? Because look, I don't give a damn what anybody says. You could be in the world, but not of the world. And I'd rather see a Christian rapper Not just a person with a positive message only, but I would love to see a Christian rapper on a major tour, even if they're touring with Rick Ross, Meek Mill, Jim Jones, okay, Nas, Wu-Tang, whatever. I would love to see it because then you know that they are being seen, heard, and respected on all levels of life. Because you got to get there. You got to get there. What's the point of being on your own tour and living this lie of I don't need no label and I don't need that when you don't need one if you're doing label things? And where's the label that's supporting you and backing you to that level? Everybody's not going to be Beyonce. Everybody's not going to be there on that level. I know that. But there's many conversations going out about why younger artists can't sell out shows like mainstream artists and all that, right? Fine. Where's the major tours where we have Christian hip hop and Christian music going place to place and representing in these inner cities, bringing the message to people? And why aren't these shows publicized? So if we're really talking about bringing hip hop somewhere better, where's the music and where's the people putting this message out? So once again, I invite you to Heritage Hip Hop and let's have this conversation. If you like the conversation that we had, please subscribe to heritagehiphop.com. Please like this video, like, subscribe, share, and comment. Send it to those people who make Christian music, Christian hip hop music. I'm willing to have that conversation. And we're going to have some hard, true conversation about faith, music, the message, content, and all that. Because at the end of the day, real love, you're saying real love, do you want to say real, he's using real love to call people out? It's not about calling people out. It's about calling out our technique and our lack of usage of things in this music so we can be heard, respected, and seen. All in all, if hip hop is a culture, let's celebrate everyone's faith, identity, and opinions so we can all come together and have a good discourse and grow from it. My name is Karev. I represent Heritage Hip Hop, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. Please stay tuned to Heritage Hip Hop. Subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on all social media, YouTube, streaming sites, whatever. We're there. So wherever you have your phone, you take me with you. And I ask that you please listen to the conversations, and I pray that you respect it and you like it. In Christ's name, may you be blessed. And most importantly, it's been an honor to talk to you. May the Most High bless you. Peace. And we out.